we're moving on to step 6 in our series setting up a complete Kubernetes home lab. And in this particular series, we will be talking about configuring a storage provisioner using Kubernetes NFS Subdir external provider. And this is the repository, and I'll talk us through. So the purpose really is to give us the room to dynamically provision storage for our applications on the Kubernetes cluster. So we'll just jump right into it. And so let me go into the cluster. And so what we will do first of all is so I have a couple of snippets here that I'll be running through. So we'll first of all need to install NFS server on the control, which is where the storage would be and where all the applications will be accessing the storage from. If this were to be a multi-node cluster, we would have to install clients on all the other nodes so that those clients can talk to the server. But in this case, we only have one server, so we'll probably just install that. So I'll copy this and install the NFS server on the control node. And we'll wait for that to get completed. And once that is done, I'll just okay that. And then once that is done, because we don't have other nodes, we won't be doing those bits. But if you have other nodes in your own setup, then you need to install the clients. And so I'll make a directory, kind of like a shared path where we will store stuff on the control node. So I'm calling it /store, and you can call it pretty much anything you want. So I've made that directory, and I will edit the etc exports and add a few things that I will make this configuration work. And because it's in the etc part, I'll need to sudo before I can edit it. So I'll just go to the bottom of that file, and I'll put this. There's a bunch of other configurations that you could add, but in this case I will not bother too much about that, and I will just, actually let's just see if we can just use the echo command to get this done. It'll be faster. So if I copy that and then I do this, and now let's cut the content of the etc exports, and now we have that in there. So that's faster instead of editing. And now we need to restart the NFS server. And that should pretty much get it done. If we add other nodes, we can show or check that the mount is set up. So now we can move to the next bit, which is actually installing the controllers and the other resources. So if you can see here on the repo that the providers or the creators are provided, and then you have that repo. So let's just have it here. So I'll add this to my Helm list, and that is added, and I'll just go ahead and install. And if you can see, it's supposed to be 68. So in this configuration, you do Helm install that the resources, but then you need to do a couple of configurations which you could have put in your values or YAML file, but then we'll just do it here to make it faster. This will be the IP address of your control plane, and then this will be the path that you set up for storage on the control plane. So I'll copy that and get that installed. And if we do ls, that's installed, and then if we get the pods, we should see that it is running now. And then we can also list the storage classes. So get storage classes. You can see that we have a new storage class, and it's called NFS client, which we'll use for our PVCs in the next set of videos, in the next set of resources I'll be creating. So we'll create a simple test, a demo PVC to just see this in place. But so I'll copy this and then I'll vim test demo pvc.yaml, and then I'll paste that there. I will deliberately not add the story class, and we will see the provisioning fail, and then we can fix it afterwards. So I'll do kubectl apply. Okay, I forgot to explain. So if I just cut demo, and then this is just creating a persistent volume claim, which should in turn provision a persistent volume of 50 megabytes with this access mode and all that. So I'll apply that, and then demo pvc, apply dash demo pvc, and that is created. If I get the pvc, I see my pvc, but it's in the pending state. Let's describe demo nfs pvc, and actually that should provide the resource type that we're describing, and we can see it's saying no story classes set. So by default we have a story class, but we didn't tell it to use that story class. But we don't want to be setting story class every time. So what we will do is we will edit, okay, we'll get the storage class, and then we will edit that storage class. Edit storage class nfs client, and here we want to set this to be the default storage class so that we don't need to provide that every time. So we need to add this to the annotation portion of that storage class. So I'll just put it right here, get into edit insert mode, and I'll paste that there. So we're saying the default storage class, this should be the default storage class that the resources should use. So if I write and quit, and then okay, so that failed. We will need to, okay, so let's edit that again. I think I know why it failed. I'll bring that back, and let's get this like without that, and we'll set it to true. Let's see how that, if that helps us. Yep, so that got done, and then so if I get the PVC again, and now we can see that it is bound, and we have our storage provisioner set up, so that once we create any of that, so even if we don't set up the default storage class, we have one by default, and then we have and then if you look at it, it doesn't just create a PVC. If you do get PV also, we will see the PV, and we can actually list the content of /store and see those dynamically provisioned storage in there on the path, since we're on the control plane. And then that would wrap it up for this video, and then we can move up like to the next stuff. We provision like the basic things that we need to set up to get our cluster going, and the next video will go into monitoring and a couple of the other good stuff. And thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.